Hey everyone, it's Miss Sarrett. So last week we talked about how to measure angles and how to classify them. So now we need to talk about what angles are important for in triangles and quadrilaterals. Go ahead and get your jams out, make sure you're ready to take notes, and do a reflection at the end of the video. Here is your TEKS objective. Go ahead and write this on the top right page of your notes. Whenever you're done with this, go ahead and take a moment to pause the video and fill out your learning goal and what you already know about this topic. Let's talk about the sum of angles in a triangle. In any triangle, no matter what it looks like, all three angles will always add up to 180 degrees, which means they have a sum of 180 degrees. As you can see in this picture, the angles are labeled A, B, and C, and angles A plus B plus C equal 180 degrees. So what do we do if an angle is missing? Well, let's look at this picture below. So we know angle A equals 120 degrees, and we know angle B equals 34 degrees. So I know that 120 plus 34 plus angle C is going to give me 180 degrees. Now if I add 120 plus 34, I get 154, plus that angle C equals 180 degrees. To find angle C, I'll just do 180 minus 154, and I get angle C to equal 26 degrees. One way we can classify triangles is by the type of angles that it has. So, first of all, we have right triangles. Right triangles contain one right angle. So as you can see in the picture below, these all have one right angle. An acute triangle is made up of nothing but acute angles. So as you can see here, we've got 55, 80, and 45 degrees. Those are all acute angles, so this would be an acute triangle. Same here, we have 48, 83, and 48 degrees. All angles are acute, so that is an acute triangle. Next we have obtuse triangles. An obtuse triangle contains one obtuse angle. So this one contains a 101 degree angle. This one contains a 110 degree angle. This one contains a 120 degree angle. If it has an obtuse angle, it is an obtuse triangle. We can also classify triangles by sides. We have scaling triangles, which means that every single side has a different length. You can usually tell by these little marks that are on the triangle. So one side has one mark, the other side has two, the other side has three. This means that the sides are unequal. Then we have isosceles triangles. Isosceles triangles have two equal sides. Then we have equilateral triangles. Equilateral triangles are going to have sides all the same length. When you hear equilateral, it kind of sounds like equal. So you'll keep in mind, equilateral triangles have sides of equal lengths. Now let's talk about quadrilaterals and the sum of their angles. Well, all four angles in a quadrilateral actually add up to be 360 degrees. Here's the cool thing about rectangles and squares. All angles in any rectangle or square is going to equal 90 degrees. So if an angle is missing in a picture of a rectangle or a square, it's really simple. It just equals 90 degrees. Now let's talk about parallelograms. There are a couple of tricks to know about parallelograms. If you have two angles that are right next to each other, like angle A and angle D, they're actually going to add up to 180 degrees. Even angle A and angle B will add up to 180 degrees. If the angles are right next to each other in a parallelogram, they will always add up to 180 degrees. If two angles are across from each other diagonally, like angles B and D are in this picture, they will actually be equal. So that means that angles A and angle C will also be equal to each other. So if you're ever missing an angle in a parallelogram, see if it's on the opposite side of another angle, then you know that they'll be equal. Or see if it's next to another angle, and then you can just see what the sum of those two angles would need to be to make them 180 degrees. So let's solve for the missing angle in a quadrilateral. So in this quadrilateral, we have 90 degrees, 115 degrees, and 85 degrees. And we know that plus angle Z is going to give us 360 degrees. Now if I add my first three angles, I get 290 plus my angle Z, give me 360. Now to find Z, I just need to do 360 minus 290, and that is going to give me 70 degrees. So if you're missing the angle, just add up whatever angles you already have, and then you're just going to subtract that sum from 360. Don't forget to complete your reflection at the end of this video, and stay tuned for the next video all about circumference and circles.